Well, for instance, that Coast Guard behind me here in Cleveland, that cutter, it's a big one, 140-footer. It can cut and slice through thick ice, 6 feet thick on Lake Erie to open up channels for freighters. But the ice, this freighter that we're talking about stuck in Lake Erie, is stuck in ice 8 to 10 feet thick. And we just got new pictures within the hour from the Canadian U.S. Coast Guard. These are aerials of that freighter. Look at the situation it's in now on Lake Erie. They call it the Arthur M. Anderson. It was making its last run of this part of the winter season and planned to take a few weeks off before the spring thaw over in Conneaut in the harbor there. But the freighter has been stuck in that ice, again, 8 to 10 feet thick for days between Ashtabula and Conneaut, 5 miles from shore. 10 crew members on that freighter. They have plenty of food and fuel. They're safe and in good health. The first Coast Guard cutter, the Bristol Bay, ran into ice so thick they had to turn around, and I just talked with the commanding officer who's aboard the Bristol Bay, and here's what he told me.
The ice conditions slow us down maybe 3 knots, which is about 3.5 miles an hour, and we oftentimes get stopped with some of these pressure ridges, and we have to back and ram and punch our way through. So it's very determined process. When it comes to those pressure ridges, you never know what's underneath. It's like an iceberg. And some of those chunks that we turned over were 8 to 10 feet top to bottom, so very significant ice.
And that again is the voice of Lieutenant Commander John Henry aboard the Bristol Bay, trying to make his way back to Cleveland. They'll get some fuel, they'll refuel, then they're going to team up with a larger Canadian ice cutter. Then those 2 ice cutters are going to track back to that freighter, cut it, let it get out to the western basin of Lake Erie, and find a safe harbor there. Live from the Coast Guard in Cleveland tonight, I'm Paul Kiska, News Channel 5.